ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to DC Service Online for Stats Revamp 1.4 testing here with Rage. Another video in CNCH solo because, you know, it's quick, easy. I've been doing it with the other powers, and we'll try it in other instances at another time. It's basically just seeing how these loadouts work. So, looking at our hybrid loadout, this is hybrid still, not play from the tray. We'll try that some other time. Probably when the power usage with combos comes back into an easier fix, because right now it's still too high. But for our loadout for hybrid is Severe Punishment, Remorseless Recovery, Violence, Rage Blast, Without Mercy, and Revenge. So the aesthetics for it is Severe Punishment, we're going to get the Enraged buff, so any damage that gets done to us will get turned into heals. And then with Remorseless Recovery, we're going to do damage, and 25% of that damage is going to come back to us as heals. It's a little buggy at the moment, but we still get heals, so I'm happy for that. Violence, so we're using Violence to inflict a plasma burn to enemies around us, and it will also it should do a damage over time if it's still like how it is on live. First time using it on test, so we'll see how it goes. Next, we're going to use Rage Blast, so it's going to do extra damage for enemies who have the Plasma Burn PI, and I'm also going to heal back a portion of damage dealt. Still, in DPS roll, I get 25% of damage done back to me as heals, where in tank roll, we get 100% of that heal back when we do damage. Then we use Without Mercy, again, another ability that will heal with the from the damage that I deal. And then finally we have Revenge. That Revenge is here only to be my Rage Crash canceller. That's why it's here. I didn't want to use anything else. I could have used Plasma Wretch. I could have, but I decided to use Revenge instead. We'll see how it goes. I might switch that out for Plasma Wretch on another run. But it's all about testing to see how it goes. And of course it's also spammable as well, where Plasma Wretch is 200 medium power cost. So keeping it low on the power cost for me works out really well. So this is what Catmon has kind of dubbed this the Leech Loadout, where I could have used Channel Hate, but Channel Hate is not really comfortable in the melee setting because it is vulnerable to interrupt. I think it will work more in a range setting, where thanks to Bumbling Bee and Supreme Monarch on the stream, we've talked about where Channel Hate working like Light Blast, where it hits multiple targets, and hitting multiple targets with Channel Hate would be amazing, because Channel Hate is basically fires Absorb Heat, and so if Channel Hate gets that, Absorb Heat should get it too. So if Channel Hate moves out into a frontal cone and hits multiple enemies, does some damage, and also gets healed back, that will be awesome. If Channel Hate has to kind of stay as a one-target ability, it needs to have some mobility. It just does. I need to be able to move around a bit. I understand you want me to stay put, but being vulnerable to interrupt, I want to have a little bit of mobility with it. So I understand it's a cast. I understand. But anyways, for our stats, we are looking at 20% crit chance, 80% crit damage, 38 points into precision, and 54 points into might, allowing our stats to be health at 18,000, power at 18.6, might is at 96.19, and precision at 96.23. Mod wise, I'm using yellow, in my yellow slots I'm using might and power 7. In my reds I'm using might 7, and then in my blues I'm using might and health 7. And that's it. That's all my beautiful stats. So again, the first time using this loadout, so we're really gonna see how rocky it is and see if it works. Let's find out. So I'm gonna lunge in, use Violence, Rage Blast, Without Mercy, Rage Blast, and now use Revenge. And I'll use Rage Blast again, Without Mercy, and we'll use a couple of weapon combos because this is my weapon loadout. I almost went away from the tray there for a moment there. So I gotta kind of remember to use. So probably while Without Mercy is on cooldown, kind of put in a little bit of effort to use some weapon combos to build power back up, just in case, because I need to use Revenge when everything's back up. So lunge in, Rage Blast without mercy, do a couple of combos, here comes Revenge, use Rage Blast again, and I have power to use Vengeance, or Violence I mean. So at that moment, I was able to go through my second rotation, but it messed up because I didn't have enough power to use Violence. So I'm going to need... It's multiple things to look at there, is to make sure I have enough power to hit Violence again to reapply the Plasma Burn. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. Probably just using Without Mercy by itself and not using Rage Blast would be nice, but Rage Blast again is another spammer, where Revenge is also a spammer as well with its low 100 power cost base. Oh, I need one more. Where am I going? I need to kill one more group.
Fighting a two-front battle is wearing us down. My warriors have reported a strange magical portal in Gotham.
So Violence is working out really well because it gives the Plasma Burn PI, and the PI lasts for 12 seconds. Well, Violence has a 12-second cooldown, so when do I know when the Plasma Burn PI is gone? When I have to recast Violence. So that's nice to have. So rotation-wise, using Severe Punishment, Remorseless, Lunge, make sure the damage in Lunge actually hits, and then use Violence, Rage Blast Without Mercy. Probably do like a short weapon combo, and then go into Revenge to cancel my Rage Crash. Working out. That's actually working pretty well. Because then I also have that 4 seconds of lull where I need to, oh crap, I'm getting damaged, so I can probably just use Rage Blast to keep my health up a little bit. But again, this is all in solo content. Raids will probably be a lot different. That initial heals. Now I probably don't even need to really use my Rage Blast or Without Mercy because I'm not taking any damage yet. I can probably hold off and just use a little bit of weapon combos, and then once I start taking damage, I can use my heal abilities. Let's see if I can manage that out there. Why not? Short cooldown. It's a spammer. It's a spammer ability, so I can probably use it a lot more than I would use Rage Blast, even though Rage Blast is not doing too bad. Let's see about that damage. Yeah, that damage is actually not bad. One thing I am missing from Rage Bringer, or from Relentless Anger, is that it was actually my lunge. I used to use Relentless Anger to lunge into my targets instead of having to actually lunge. I'm lazy. thought she was dead. She is dead. Thanks, Violence, Deadly Aura. And I'm feeling a little better, Martel. Throat's still a little itchy, but I think it's probably because I've been doing so much talking because I can't shut up. But you know, that's a me problem. Always a me problem. Smoke bomb. That's better. I missed time my revenge combo. Alright, so let's boogie and see how this rotation works. So I'm going to try and use my weapons more before I actually have to need to heal myself. There's no reason to use an ability to heal myself if I'm not taking any damage. But at the same time, remember those abilities do heal as well. It's a conundrum. It is a conundrum to use an ability that I don't need to heal myself, but I need to use that damage. But that's the curse of trying to figure out how you want to play as a hybrid character. Do you want to use your weapons more, or do you want to use your powers more? So let's go.
Close that portal and stop those wayward shades.
Yeah, I'm going to try actually using... Haha, jerk. See, now I'm actually in the power issues. Ouch. Darn. Now I'm actually going to use powers here. Bubbles. Got a little bit of heals there. Probably only using Without Mercy. Probably only need to use it when it's multiple targets. I need to use Rage Blast more than just.
Faust's attempt to utilize the chaotic energies of the underworld is just one of the unintended consequences of Ares'
Alright, see you later, B.
With Circe at his side, there is no telling what havoc they will wreak upon the world. Rescuing my mother is the key to defeating them.
Well, remember, Catmon, Bloodlust. Now, I mean, I could have switched out. I'm not even sure what I would switch out to put Bloodlust in, because you don't really for people who want to do more weapon damage, they can switch Rage Blast or Weapon Without Mercy with Bloodlust. That's very true. I think in this situation, having both of them, it helps. If it's only one target, you're going to use Rage Blast. If it's multiple targets around you, you'll want to use Without Mercy. So both of those abilities having in your loadout is situational. You don't need to use both. So switching one of those out with Bloodlust would probably actually help out. So I have it in both loadouts just for purposes of this solo that I have multiple enemies going on. But when I'm actually having to go into an instance and fight things, it would have to be switched out between Trash and Boss Fight. And good night, Supreme Monarch. You two, thank you guys so much for helping out. Possibly just launching in first and then hitting everything will probably work out a bit better. Exactly, Without Mercy for ads, Rage Blast for boss. Hello, Horror. I gotta reply to a text message. Okay, let's continue on. So, lunge. Damn, she wasn't even recognizing me there. So, all of a sudden, I know, Horror. I know. So, this loadout, at least we are seeing options to use. You don't need to have both Rage Blast and Without Mercy. You can switch them out. And we could have Bloodlust in here for extra weapon damage. Because as you see, this loadout, I'm using my weapons a lot more. For this Leech load, so I'm seeing a Leech loadout is probably going to be where you want to use your weapons more and your powers less. Because I'm only using Revenge to break out. Now here's another issue. We can switch out Rage Blast and Without Mercy so we can have Bloodlust. But we also have Ferocity that gives us that extra hit that you do will cause extra damage, but it's also a breakout ability. A group breakout, no less. So, as you saw, especially in this Artemis fight coming up, I'm on my butt a lot. I am on my butt a lot. But hey, that's testing. We've now come up with different scenarios for this loadout and hybrid play. See, I have to say, this right here, high five, guys. High fives. No one else is in the room with me, but yeah, internet high fives. Oops. I'm going to be smart about this and just get out of that. Crap. Gotcha. Crap. cool.
My fist shall strike you down.
Okay, so I am actually enjoying this a lot more than I thought. Got my leech abilities. I'm not saying I'm going to stand in the fire, but I really could probably stand in the fire. Probably not. I don't want to test it. Did I rage that? Oh crap, I'm actually in the fire still. Shit. My bad. Like, it was weird, I didn't actually get it. So this is where probably having Dreadful Blast would be very helpful in that situation. I do not need to feel any burns.
Affairs of gods. Nothing is what it seems.
You have battled mightily, Seeker. I have the knowledge.
Alright, so we found some cool combinations for this power. For this loadout especially. I think in this instance, for this run, because of how the leeching was working, I used my powers only for leeching purposes. Other than that, I really was relying on Severe Punishment and Remorseless Recovery to get my heals back. I have Violence going on, but I had Violence going to give a damage over time aura. I really wasn't utilizing the Plasma Burn effect from Rage Blast or from Revenge. I've only used Revenge only for canceling purposes. So it's not like I was sitting here spamming that power. My thought process was, I need to heal, and I'm not going to use Rage Blast or Without Mercy unless I need to heal. So I am kind of wasting that PI element there. So it's another situation. So it's really, if I want to use my powers more and rely more on the Plasma Burn PI, I could have replaced Rage Blast and put Lacerate there. So it could do damage it would do damage, extra damage with the Plasma Burn. And where Without Mercy is, I could have kept that if I was fighting multiple targets. If I'm not fighting multiple targets, Without Mercy could have easily been Rage Blast. And even if I wasn't going to use Lacerate and I was going to use my weapon more, then I definitely would have used Bloodlust for that 12 seconds as well. So we have come up with multiple scenarios for loadouts that I now need to test out. So, and in this run, I use my weapon a lot more than I did in my other runs, because I was focusing on using the Plasma Burn. This time around, I was only going to use my leech abilities until my health was down. And I think majority of the time, my health was at a very good place. Besides the one time I stood in the fire way too long and I needed to use a soda to come back. I could have tried to see if I could have brought my health back up with just my powers. But we sadly didn't get there, did we? But good job on the idea, Capmon. Good job on that. The Leech Loadout that you call it, it needs some tweaking. And it could have refinement depending on the player and how they play, which is exactly what the revamp is all about. This could also be counted as a weapons loadout in mind with a hybrid loadout for skill point stats. You're correct. I think when it comes to the weapon playstyle, I already know Severe Punishment and Without Mercy or I'm sorry, Severe Punishment and Remorseless Recovery is already going to be there. What's awesome, and I found this out today, Bloodlust, okay, so actually Bloodlust does not cancel the... Bloodlust doesn't cancel the Rage Crash, but in Tank Roll it does reduce it. But I think that needs to be changed. Bloodlust... Well, I never even thought about using... No, I'm not going to use a weapon buff in Tank Roll. No. That needs to be changed. Bloodlust does not need the Rage Crash Reducer in Tank Roll. I think Bloodlust, to be useful, especially in a weapon loadout, because Rage, we require the damage done to us and the damage dealt, we need our heals. In a weapon-only loadout, we don't have a way to counter those combinations. So I think Bloodlust should actually ignore. I think Bloodlust should ignore the Rage Crash, not slightly reduce it. Because again, this is your weapon loadout. You only want to use weapons. If you want to use weapons only, then you don't need to use a combo. You don't need to use any other power. You want just to use your weapon and your weapon buff and your Severe Punishment and your Remorseless Recovery, because God's sakes, again, you're doing that. Our Rage is all about self-heals, and those two powers are needed in the self-heal loadout, or needed in any loadout that you do. So having Bloodlust reduce, or basically ignore the Rage cancel, will make it more efficient for Severe Punishment. I don't see that being an overpower statement at all. Because in my mindset, I'm only going to use my weapon. I'm only using martial arts. That's all I'm using. My loadout in a weapon playstyle, my loadout is to buff my weapon. And I'm not going to use a Rage combo. I don't want to. We came up with some good feedback, guys. I really appreciate everyone tonight. You guys did good. You guys did good work. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for some more Rage videos.